Let's talk about it. Insane amount of credit card debt in 2025. Let's get into the clips.
But I have been financially not doing great. I am a nurse. Even though I am a nurse and I make good money, I don't have money, which is the sad part because of the choices that I've made still currently and the choices that I've made like previously, like from a couple of years. I am in credit card debt, and it's this unhealthy cycle that I have been putting myself into, and this just relationship with money has just never been.
It's very well known that a lot of nurses are very poor with their money management skills. Probably has something to do with the fact that one thing about the nursing occupation is you need nurses 24/7, 365. So with that being the case, it's always the ability to work and make money. So it's nothing to pick up overtime. There's nothing to, have a second or third job. So essentially, anytime they want something or need anything, all they got to do is pick up an extra shift to buy it. Then again, a lot of nurses live off their overtime money. Nothing wrong with working overtime, but you shouldn't have to work overtime just to pay the your minimum amount of bills per month. That's what gets nurses in a lot of trouble.
Something that I was talked about, lifestyle creep is definitely a thing, and especially when you are trying to make a brand for yourself, when you're aspiring to do something that you want to do. And content creation has been something that I've always wanted to do. Being a YouTuber has always been something I want to do. I've always just wanted to be on camera. I've always just wanted to make a name for myself, whether it be like through content creation, being a YouTuber, being an entrepreneur, like whatever it may be. I always felt like I was meant to do something other than nursing. And so I think for years I have been continuously like, going with the trends and like, buying whatever everyone else buys so that like I can post about it and like, be seen. But then I get caught up with imposter syndrome of not being enough. For in order for me to become someone, I guess I was influenced by everyone else around me.
So essentially, she tried to fake it till she made it. But the only problem is she never made it. And now she's left with thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt.
So if I bought the next best thing, or if I like looked a certain way by buying these clothes, then I was gonna make an image, a brand for myself. And that turned into like so many like dumb purchases like along the way that I'm like literally paying for now. And don't get me wrong, I have been trying to get myself together when it comes to my finances, because obviously like I have money to pay my bills. I have money to like pay down the minimums on my credit cards. But a lot of the times I don't take into account like, money like for myself and money to, just enjoy life. And most of the time like I'm struggling to even do that.
I mean, I don't get it. She comes on camera and kind of wants people to feel bad for her. Um, Ridiculous amount of spending where essentially she's trying to keep up with other people, essentially trying to be a content creator and getting people instead of actually getting people to like her for her thoughts, opinions, and ideas, and just naturally being herself. She's trying to compensate with buying material possessions to get people to like her. Again, that is, a strategy that some people use, lifestyle marketing, but it doesn't seem to be too effective for her.
So I think I've reached my breaking point. Enough is enough. Like living paycheck to paycheck, living with like the credit card debt and like the afterpays and everything, like I'm done. Like I'm so done. I want to be financially free. Like I don't want to have to worry about like, you know, if I'm gonna be able to eat. I just don't want to be in this cycle anymore, because it's like I want to travel. I want to buy a house. I want to get married. Like, all of these things, like, it's just like, it's not possible until I take this step of paying off my debt. And not just paying off my debt, but like being financially literate and just understanding you can't always have your wants. You have to prioritize like your needs. And sometimes like I rationalize like my needs, my wants, to make them seem like their needs.
Again, she almost kind of sounds like a child in some type of way. But I mean, hopefully this is a wake up call for her. Hopefully she gets a better grasp on her finances. The one plus out of this whole situation, she does actually have a career and skill set where she does have the ability to earn money. Again, one thing about the health profession, especially nursing, there's always the ability to make extra money. So hopefully she picks up some extra shifts, use that money to pay down her debt. And honestly, if she stays on the right track in 2 to 3 years, she can definitely bounce back from this.
Please stay out of debt as much as you can, dude, because I am drowning. I keep getting myself in these situations to the point I can't get myself out of it. I can, but I have to work 2 or 3 times harder just to get myself back afloat. So, backstory, I was in school and I lived on my credit cards. And so my mom, she helped me by paying them off in like full. So I'm like, good, bam. So now, fast forward to now, bro, I have got myself in that same position and I don't even know how, like, I don't even know how I came about spending this money.
Well, it's very simple how you got in this position. You continued to use your credit cards after your mom paid them off in full for you.
I don't know where it's going. I'm looking at my credit cards like, what did I even spend this on? So now, because I like to invest my money. I want to invest my money. I want to put my money somewhere else, but I don't even have the luxury to do that because I got to work 2 or 3 times harder just to pay my credit cards off, then put my money to the side to invest. So now I'm going backwards rather than continuing to going forward. So it's just so frustrating, bro. And I'm just sitting here like pulling my hair out, stressing over it. Bro, I didn't even have to go through this. It just creeped up on me out of no fucking where. And I just like don't know. Bro, do anybody else know how to manage their money? Cause I'm over here drowning. Drowning. And I'm trying to stay, bro, get myself up. And it's so frustrating, bro. So learn from me. Please stay out of credit card debt. If you have any recommendations for me, bro, please let me know because yeah, boy, definitely is stressing over here.
One recommendation I would have: first, stop spending. Secondly, you need to go to your bank or contact your credit card company and get your statements, the actual physical statements, so you can see them in hand and actually go over line for line and see what you're actually spending your money on. So, I mean, again, once you audit and actually see where your money is going, then you could say, okay, I did too much eating out this month. I spent this amount of money on clothes. So you can identify the areas where you can save from. And then honestly, you probably want to pick up maybe a part-time job or, some way to bring in some extra income so you can attack that debt. And then honestly, just stay disciplined and, you should be okay from there.
The average idiotic 22-year-old spends his money. You make 65K, but you spend 36 of it on a BMW M4.
Absolutely insane to be looking at any type of BMW M series product, anything, if you're only making $65,000 a year. And again, that's gross before tax.
Lease. And you're dumb enough to put wheel rims and mods on it. On a lease car. Are you joking me? This dude is a waiter at a bar. That's why he's at least making 65K and not 30 bands a year working some minimum wage job. I'm really curious what the parents of people like these think. You're 22. You're still at home. Not giving your parents any money for rent. You're literally just a squatter in their basement. I mean, at least you're not evading taxes. That I'll give you, given that you probably make the bulk of your money in cash. It's not like it matters anyway when you blow most of your money on insurance. $500 a month is diabolical. $4,800 for gas a year. So that's $400 every month. So you're looking at about a tank every week. Where are you driving? You doing a cross-country road trip every month or something? What the fuck?
Not to mention, I mean, with that amount of gas that he's burning, that vehicle probably has a ton of miles on it, so he's probably underwater on it as well. Again, like I said, the only reason why he's able even to afford this type of lifestyle is because he's living at home with his parents, literally paying no rent. And instead of taking advantage of that situation and building up savings, he's pretty much driving around and all pretty much driving around this whole paycheck. Literally, all his money goes to a car payment, car insurance, modifications for the vehicle, and gas. I mean, that doesn't even include, the depreciation on the vehicle.
Put other people's bills on my credit card. Hi, I'm Sia, and I started the year off in $40,000 in debt. So many people asked me how. And there is so many answers to that, and I'll probably do a longer video on my YouTube channel. But basically, I realized I have a hard time saying no, and that is to myself and to others. I've built up really bad habits over the years of helping people when I didn't have the money to, leaning on my credit cards as my safety net so that I can make sure other people in my life are okay, and providing a convenient life to myself because I felt like I deserved it. I also made promises to myself where I would put something on my credit card and promise that I would pay it off within the month, and then I wouldn't because I
One thing to lie to other people, but one of the most dangerous things you could do in life is lie to yourself.
already spent my cash. It almost felt like it was, invisible money. I used to pay off my credit card in full, how I was able to build up such large credit limits, but after a certain time, I wasn't doing that anymore. With the continued bad habits that I had, with spreading myself thin when I really didn't have it, it just wasn't helpful, and it really built up my credit card balances over time. And it happened over years. Like, I haven't used them really in the past few years, but when you're only paying the minimum balance on such a large balance, it doesn't really move. Once I really realized that it is my fault why I have so much credit card debt and that I need to get rid of it in order to find peace and get that money back in my pocket that I've been paying on it every month just to not see the balances go anywhere, I decided to take it seriously. I wanted to do a deep dive into my credit card statements to really share with you guys like how much I've spent on certain things. Or like the time where I want to Soul Cycle all the time, and I would buy the 30-pack classes and promise myself that I would pay for it by the end of the month, and I just didn't. Obviously, I mentioned the bills that I pay for other people, but to be honest, it's not that.
Absolutely insane to be paying the bills of other people on a credit card when you already know you're in a ton of credit card debt to begin with. Again, you have to be selfish before you could be selfless. People got to remember that. You got to take care of you first before you can try to help anybody else. Again, I mean, I can't imagine $40,000 in credit card debt. I mean, that minimum payment is probably $600, $700, $800. Again, and most of that will probably get ate up by interest. Again, she's really going to have to buckle down and come up with a game plan to get out of this, or it really could end up bad for her.
Americans are digging themselves into a deep financial hole approaching $1 trillion in credit card debt. The nation's record high credit card debt now stands at nearly $988 billion. That's around $5,700 per person. Those between 40 and 49 years old have the most debt among all age brackets, with about $7,600 on their cards. High interest rates and inflation are adding to the problem.
Who actually spends money on OnlyFans subscriptions, because you probably don't know a single one, at least to your knowledge. He asked me to keep it anonymous. I'm not going to make it anonymous. His name is Jarrett Rose. First of all, his income is $65K, but his budget is $78K. He's got credit card debt, but he's got no choices. So of course he's got to pay taxes, and of course he's got to pay rent. But with that credit card bill, looks like you're being evicted soon, buddy. So last year, OnlyFans made $5 billion. 5 with a B. Billion. You might be wondering, who is spending $5 billion on OnlyFans. Well, there you have it. Here's one example of a dude, because clearly he doesn't go outside. Let's say that the average OnlyFans subscription is about $10 a month. We're looking at $120 a year. This dude spends $24K. So 240,000 divided by 120,000. We're looking at 200 different girls or guys. I'm not judging. I hope the custom content requests are making your heart warm, man.
This man literally spends $2,000 a month on OnlyFans subscriptions, and I doubt it. It's not so much the subscription, whatever he subscribed to. Like they said, man or woman, he's probably tipping and tricking off on these OnlyFans content creators when he only has an income of $65,000. He needs help. Honestly, he needs some type of intervention. He needs therapy. I mean, because this is absolutely insane. He spends more money on OnlyFans than he does rent.
So many young adults who are in debt is crazy. Like, the amount of us who are in debt is insane. I heard somebody said they were $75,000 in debt under the age of 25. Like, what are you doing? Like, that can't all be from school. That can't all be from student loans, is it? Like, some of that got to be
Surely can.
from credit cards or something. And who giving you these credit cards? I can't even get a credit card like that. Like, I could barely get a credit card. Like, I mean, I haven't tried to get one in a long time, but I don't think I would get a $75,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? And this just proves my point to, like, there's some young people that I know, right? They're in college and they be traveling, they be having the time of their life. And I know their parents don't have it like that to be
I'll answer that question very simply for you. They're living off the student loan money. They're balling out with student loan checks.
splurging on them while they're in college. And I always wonder, like, if you don't have a job, how is you traveling the world? Like, what are you traveling the world off of? Because, I mean, I could go travel the world, but I'm not going to do that all the time. Like, but you're doing it all the time. Like, and you say you don't have no money. Like, what are we doing? Where are you getting the money from? Are you selling a little tail? What's going on? Is it a loan? Like, I don't know. But as someone like me, I thank God I don't have a lot of student loan debt because I went to trade school. So I didn't have a lot of debt with that. And I did some dumb stuff when I was 18, but it wasn't that dumb. Like, I think my loans is like under 20,000, which is good. Thank God. Cause I know I don't have to pay off too much, but that's still a lot. But this was stuff that I did when I was 18. I went to hair school when I was 18. I got a couple TVs from Best Buy that I didn't pay off, and now I'm having to pay it off. And I got a reclining chair for a family member off of credit when I was like 18. But it's just sad. Like, and I see why a lot of us don't want to buy a house, because a lot of people don't. They're like, a house is too expensive because they have all this debt. And I wonder.
I mean, truth of the matter is probably a lot of people can't qualify to buy a house with all that debt, or I mean, what they qualify for given the increase in high prices of the housing market. I mean, they're simply priced out.
Wonder what our future holds as us young adults, as far as like the market of home buying and just possession of ownership with things. But I feel like if they get the debt cleared up, if we get the debt cleared up situation, then potentially a lot of us young adults, their priorities will start to shift. But it still baffles me, and I never really understand why a young Gen Z or a young millennial would buy a car and lease that over leasing a house.
Again, it's all about perception. You can't really flex a car. I mean, you can't really flex a house as you can with a car. Again, a car, you're out and about, you're seeing, you're going to restaurants, you go to vacations. A car is, to most young people, way more important than a house. Again, like I said, we're living in a society where it's all about perception and looking like you're doing better than you really are.
$71,000 worth of debt right now. So let's see how we got there. So let's start with credit cards. I have 4 credit cards, but only 3 of them are in use. To begin, I have Discover number 1, which is $8,159, which is actually a Discover loan, like personal loan that I took out to pay off my actual credit cards because the interest rate for the personal loan was cheaper than the interest rates on each card. So it's saving me money in the long run, paying it off. But for about a year, I wasn't working and was kind of depressed, so it got racked up a little bit. So $8,159 is a personal loan that I pay off every month, and the interest rate for that is 11.9%. Again, is a lot cheaper than credit card interest rates, which are usually like 20-something%. Next, I have my Amex card. These next 3 cards are like my everyday cards. And right now they do have balances, but it's my like everyday kind of like spending. So I will pay these off at the end of the month like normal. But this one has $305 on it. My MasterCard has $370. And then my actual Discover card has $13 on it. So those will get paid off at the end of the month like normal. So I don't really consider that debt, even though it technically is. Next is the big kahuna. It's the student loans. I regret going to college, but I regret how expensive it was and living on campus, okay? So this is broken up into 2 sections. So I have like my personal student loans, like government student loans, and then I have the Parent Plus loan that is in my dad's name, but I pay it because it was for my schooling. I'm not gonna make him pay that. Mine in my name is $45,924 with interest rates between 2.75 and 4.6. So my student loans are broken up by like different loans for each semester. So there's like a gajillion different small loans and they all have different interest rates. But right now I'm on the income driven plan and I make so little money that I have a $0 a month payment on it. So I don't have to pay it every month, but it's still gaining interest, so it still sucks. And then the Parent Plus loan that's in my dad's name that I do have to pay every month because he does not qualify for an income-driven repayment plan. The total is $16,305 with an interest rate of 7.21. So that one I pay $211.37 a month to pay that one off. So it's going to take a while, but that's all my debt. That's how I got there.
Again, we can see the bulk of her debt comes from student loans. Again, she's going to have to get a second job and probably want to attack that Discover personal loan first, since that's the the highest interest rate she has there, and then move on to the Parent Plus, and then attack the 45 and try to use some type of snowball debt approach. But again, she's definitely going to need a way to generate more income, or she doesn't mention what her occupation is. Maybe she qualifies for some type of she can serve in an underserved community, and maybe in 10 years they'll forgive her loans. That may also be an option.
How an incel spends his money. This guy is the method. You might be wondering, well, there's so many people out there selling courses about random bullshit. That doesn't make any sense. Who's buying these things? Well, let me let you in on a little secret. People only sell something when there's a market for it. And clearly, as you can tell by guys like these, there is a market. Oh, here's the thing about these dating/masculinity courses and courses as a whole. In the beginning, you start off really small. Maybe a $10 PDF, maybe a $200 course. Nothing crazy. You go through maybe about half of it. It either doesn't work, or you get bored, or you start thinking maybe there's something else out there. Maybe this dude's slightly more expensive course will give me more information on how to pick up girls. Maybe the previous course didn't work, but this one will. I guarantee it. I feel it. 10 courses in, you're 30 bands deep. Not to mention he's got the premium dating app subscriptions. At least he's trying. Add on top alpha supplements, high value male. Yeah, okay. All right, buddy. I sincerely hope you can pull your life together.
This dude's priorities are literally all jacked up. I mean, he spends over half his money on trying to get women. Literally spends money on advice on how to get women. Absolutely insane. Let me know what you think in the comments below. 2025, we're talking about insane credit card debt and just debt overall in general. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.